Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with me today. She is an NFT collector and NFT artist. Please welcome R.I.L. Hello, R.I.L, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're most welcome. So I want to go ahead and ask, where are you from and how'd you get started into art?
Okay, I'm in Western Australia, although I was born overseas and I have European parents, but I've lived here most of my life. I did live for a short while in Sydney when I was younger and a little bit overseas when I was small. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm staying here in Perth. And yeah, so as far as art, as a child, I've always enjoyed drawing. I just loved sitting there drawing in my room and coloring in, and mainly always liked drawing faces and little
Right.
princesses. But yeah, just enjoyed drawing. Um, But as I got older, I never actually studied art. I never did art in high school. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. I totally, that's totally
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, because parents, thought not much of a career in art. Can you do something else? Study something else. So I didn't get to choose
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah. Your art is really, really cool. I like your work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very, very welcome. So I definitely want to get started by asking, who are like your favorite artists, or like, is there any art era that you like seeing?
Um, I really like the pre-Raphaelite era.
Hmm.
So that is a group of English artists that decided to make a brotherhood, and their art is more realistic, but it's very romantic, and
Yeah,
a lot of it is Grecian style, and there's I just and it's also linked to the romantic poetry that they wrote as well. So I just
right,
find, again, because I love women in art, faces
right.
and beauty. So I was really drawn to that. And I've got a few, um, pieces around my house, prints and stuff. So yeah.
Wow,
And
that's
as
really,
far
really.
as and as far as modern artists, I there's just I like a wide variety of art. Sorry, I do like and admire Frida Kahlo, and I have done some
Mhm.
works um, using, her style and her portraits. I just find that she, um, yeah, is a great, strong female figure and representative of women, female art. I like the fact that she really embraced herself and who she was and didn't mind
Mhm.
using the whole monobrow thing in her paintings. And she was just herself, very authentic and colorful. And yeah, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Frida Kahlo, like, she's amazingly talented, And the thing is, I like how women are highlighted in art because, it's not just about like the men, but it's also the women talking about their experiences and, pushing the boundaries of art as well. So that's really, really exciting to see.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's absolutely really, really cool. But I definitely want to ask, like, how did you get into NFTs?
Okay. Well, through my life, because I didn't study art, but I got married very young, had a family. So, but I did more crafts, like quilting,
Right.
jewelry making. Always had to do something creative.
Hmm.
And then probably the year before got into NFTs, I started acrylic painting. I thought, you know what, I've always wanted to paint, so I'm just gonna. Had some time, and I started painting. So also, I just got into crypto and learnt about, crypto and investing a little bit in that. And so a family member said to me, "Hey, have you heard of crypto art?" And I'm going, "What NFTs, like what? I couldn't get my head around it. Like I barely understood what cryptocurrency was, and then you're trying to tell me that art can be turned into crypto, and so I left it. Like it took me a month. I just couldn't get my head around it. Um, you're just so used to the physical art, and I understood digital art online. I understood that, but I just didn't understand how, yeah, the other worked. And one day I just sat down and go, okay, I'm going to look into this because this is interesting and I like new things. So I read up a bit
Right.
on it. Now, I've never done digital art in my life. And so I just went all in. I didn't get any advice or help from anyone. I just stumbled my way through it. I just got, okay, I need a MetaMask wallet. I need, I had to learn all these things. And I think back then, because I started in March 21, so it's fairly early in this space, I think Raribles was bigger than Opensea back then. It was more
Yeah.
expensive to set up. So I thought, okay, this is what I need. And I spent a lot of money just setting it up. I
Right.
I don't even remember. I used some really cheap programs to try and make some digital art and minted. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about what I minted, but I think I deleted half of it. But I was willing to give it a go, and I slowly progressed and yeah, into it and learning step by step, just by practice, just by, you know, I didn't have anyone in real life around me that knew about it. So
Right.
I just had to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. I heard about it like March 2021, kind of, but I didn't pay too much attention about it up until pretty much this year, like during like the springtime specifically, because I learned about NFTs and Web3 and the metaverse in Clubhouse, because people had rooms
Mm.
talking about, the crypto wallets and, AI, then talking about, Web3 and utility and things like that. So it is when you first hear about NFTs, it is a complex thing. Like, huh? Like
Well,
it's like,
well, a year and a half ago when I entered, it was still very new, all those terms. I don't think I even heard the word Web3 much or AI, so a lot has progressed. A lot has changed. I've seen so much change since I first started. So now I think more people are aware of what it is.
mhm. Yeah, right,
Mm.
exactly, most definitely, and it's still new. I see it's
Yeah.
gradually growing, and a lot more artists are jumping into space.
Yeah, it's just like the internet.
Hmm.
When it first started, people going, "What is this?" And again, I was one of the first ones to get onto the internet when it comes to technology. I'm not that
Right.
savvy, but I have an interest in new things and exploring. So I was pretty early on in the internet with the chat rooms and all the weird search engines and stuff. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah, that's definitely the thing. And also social media has really, really evolved because now we got all these social media platforms. It's Facebook,
mm,
then you got Instagram, then you got TikTok, Snapchat, you got
yep.
Twitter. A lot of people on Twitter, just in regards to NFTs and what they are on Twitter, especially Twitter Space. So it's really cool to see that the community is growing a lot. I think specifically within Twitter, because there's so many spaces you can jump in and promote yourself and talk about NFTs and Web3.
Yeah, and I've never been much of a social media person. I'm a private stay-at-home person and so I swore I'd never go on Twitter. I just didn't. I'm not much into Facebook except for posting photos for relatives or people that are far away. So
Right.
when I discovered that I had to go on Twitter, I was like, oh no, what have I done? Because I couldn't handle the fast paced.
Right.
posts all the time in comparison to Insta or Facebook. People are just constantly tweeting, and you
Right.
know, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I have a sensory overload issue. I have a fear of strangers. I have ADHD, so I get very overwhelmed. And when I first joined Twitter, I didn't know how to tweet. I was like, okay, what do I say? I I just froze. And
Right.
all I did was, you know, when you go to Opensea, you just click the link and it says, check this out on Opensea. I didn't even actually tweet, here's my art. I just posted a link and another link and just sat there. And it took me ages to get the hang of it. But I had to go at a slow pace to adjust for me, because it wasn't natural. It wasn't my thing. But
Mm.
I have a love of art, and I just like the challenge of new things and learning. I like learning and exploring.
Mm.
So I just stuck it out and kept going, you know?
Yeah, yeah, right, most definitely. Now, in regards to your art, like, do you do like portraits and landscapes? Do you do just portraits, or are you like very like how do you describe like your artwork?
I prefer portraits. I mean, that's the main theme. But I don't stick to a certain style. I do mix it up a bit. I mean, it's always got to have people in there. Nah, I haven't done straight landscapes. I need people and faces. I did a whole collection of sci-fi type art.
Hmm.
Um, I'm a bit geeky as well. And I'm drawn to alien planets and cyborgs and things like that. I deleted a lot of that because I thought, oh, I don't think people are interested. So I had a lot of doubts about myself and my art. But
Right,
yeah, I prefer faces and color. Color is really important.
right.
And yeah, so but I like exploring. I just love keep trying new things, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Try new things. Yeah, like I love experimenting with different stuff as well. It's
Mm.
amazing. Like when you experiment with different things, it's really cool to see like what you can come up with. So that's what I really like about that.
Yeah, yep. I love creativity
Mm.
because there's so much you can do with it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, most definitely, absolutely. Now, do you plan your artwork or do you just like freestyle essentially?
I'm a freestyler. I go with the flow and I have to be inspired. I go with my moods because I see art as a self-expression. And so for me to plan something, that sounds like work to me.
Right.
And it's boring. And yeah, so I get what I do is I tend to be, I'll have ideas come into my head and I'll visualize stuff,
Hmm.
or and so I might plan it in my head, but not on paper. So I
Right.
get a picture in my head of where I want to go and what I want to do, and then I'll, experiment. Or I might just wake up one day and depending on my mood, and I might just do some,
Mhm.
sad stuff or whatever. So yeah, I prefer it to be natural and inspired. So it just
Mhm.
comes out of me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I seen that you're also a singer as well. So like who are like some of your influences in regards to singing?
Um, yeah, singing is something that I used to love as a child, to go around singing. And again, not something that I've trained in or anything, but a few years
Mhm.
ago I discovered some online programs where you can create tracks and stuff, and I discovered that I loved composing music. And because again, it's creative. And then I decided, well, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to start writing lyrics. And I discovered I could write songs. And then I thought, well, now I have to learn how to record them. And I joined a music forum online and got help. And I really enjoyed being in that group and songwrite and stuff. I think I'm old school, so I like more. I used to listen to Sade, and I like Lana Del Rey, Adele, those type of singers. The old, I like Karen Carpenter, Shirley Bassey, some of the blues singers. So I'm more of classic and blues. Yeah, in my own style. That's probably what I'm best with.
Yeah, totally,
But
absolutely.
it's something that I just like doing from home. It's not professional or anything. It's just another outlet and self-expression, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what has been your experience, in regards to being an NFT collector?
Yeah, so I came into this space as an one artist. That was my focus, and as I got more and more out of my shell, and well, I didn't have any money to begin with, so it took me a while to have a little bit of, got a few sales, and then I saw how male dominant it was in the beginning, and it wasn't until WoW came along that really helped the women get off the ground. And unfortunately, at the time, I had no ETH to get into that, even though I knew the artist. But shortly afterwards, I mentored into the first women's project, and I really enjoyed the community, getting into the discords and starting to feel like family because you're all supporting the one project. And I guess that's when I started to realize, hey, there's more than just me doing stuff. And I just started from then to just pursue women-led projects mainly, and supporting some small artists too, because I knew how hard it is to come into this space and be new, and how discouraging it is when you don't get sales and things like that. So I sort of liked to support more, the unknown little artists from even third world countries or something like that, rather than going for someone more popular. And that's just me. But I began to become passionate about collecting from women's led projects. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed doing art. It's so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I won my first NFT from a giveaway that Laidback Llamas and Global Con were doing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I got my very first NFT. I never got an NFT before, until that time. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I won a free NFT. But it's really cool that people are really doing not only women-led projects, or this space is getting big and getting more popular, but also too people are doing giveaways where it's like, hey, if you repost a tweet or you answer a question in our Twitter space, you win a free NFT. So it's really cool that people.
Sorry, when did you say that you entered the space?
So it was a Twitter space that Laidback Llamas and Global Kind NFT were doing.
Is this year that you came into NFTs or last year?
This is pretty much officially this year, essentially getting exposed to NFTs.
The reason why I asked that question is when I first came into the space, we did not have giveaways. It's
Oh,
not like
really?
it is now. I don't remember giveaways. It might have been very few and far between. It
Mm,
wasn't a thing. Like things have changed so much.
right.
It's incredible how things have changed. So yeah, back when I started, there was hardly any giveaways.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's a big thing now, but it wasn't back then. So I didn't win anything last year much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards the middle half of the year, it started, increasing with the
Mhm,
projects. But yeah, now it's more of a thing. And
mhm,
there was no, I can't remember free mints and things like that.
mm.
Um,
So, like how you said, this is pretty new, the giveaways and free mints and stuff.
yeah, it's more towards the end of the last year. This year, it's more popular, more trending. But yeah, when I first came in, no.
Mm. Yeah, that's very interesting. But I definitely want to go ahead and really ask, like, in regards to just having your artwork, like, selling artwork as NFTs, like, what has been the journey like as well, like, just in terms of pricing? Did you find it hard? Did you find it easy? What's the journey been like just selling NFTs, especially with pricing?
Um, it's been an incredible, hard journey in a lot of ways, but a lot of self growth and
Mhm.
very challenging. Entering a new space is like a new world almost, and with
Right.
all the and because it changes so rapidly and evolves, you, you know, uh, I didn't realize how insecure I was about my art until you
Mhm.
enter in a public space and you just see all these amazing artists around you and they get sales and you don't, and you feel insecure and you think, what am I doing wrong? And I had to really work hard to get out of that headspace where you
Right.
compare yourself. And as far as pricing, that was tricky too. Um, I think when you're new, you probably should price it a little bit lower, like I think point 0.0405 is good, not too low, because then it just, I don't know, devalues your art. And it depends also on the piece, how much time you've put in it. So it's what you think you are worth, your time is worth too. So there'll be other pieces where I'll have priced it more because it took me longer, you know.
Right.
So it depends how you want to go about it. If you want quicker sales, or you just go, you know what, I think my time is worth this much.
Hmm.
I Yeah, and what your focus is. So if you, for me, I came on as a 111 artist, but now my focus has changed.
Right.
So I'm not I'm not devastated if I don't make any sales, because I'm doing other things in this space. I've discovered more of who I am and coming out of my shell.
Hmm.
So I think when you are put in with all these strangers and scammers and things like that, and you go through all these experiences, it helps you to grow, or you retreat and leave. But
Hmm.
um, it's really built a lot of confidence in me, and I've changed a lot from when I first started. So even though I've had some pretty tough experiences and bad experiences and stuff, I wouldn't change it. I would not. I don't regret coming into this space, and I feel like I've gotten over the worst. Like
Hmm.
I've experienced everything, so just bring it. I don't care anymore. So
Right.
yeah, I just think you have to be true to yourself, and you price whatever you want. Um,
Hmm.
you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right, exactly. Yeah, it's quite a journey just being an artist in general, not just in
Mhm.
within the NFT Web3 space, but just being an artist in general because, you know, I think, especially with me, like I found pricing to be a little bit tough because you don't want to undervalue yourself. but you want
Yeah.
to, have a set medium or median, like in the middle, like,
Yeah.
not too high, not too low, but it's somewhere like where you
Yeah.
can price for worth. So that's something that I myself kind of struggle with being an artist. But I said, okay, like I'm gonna set at this price, especially, being in the beauty industry as well, not only in the art industry, but also in the beauty industry. But really it's kind of interesting
Mhm.
how it's all like a melting pot because it's all art. So but yeah, but definitely that's something that I'm still learning about pricing and things like that.
Yeah, and I think it's hard because I didn't realize how much you have to market yourself and be basically a salesperson, and that's just not my personality, and
Right.
I see the ones that are the big talkers that are outgoing, they can sell anything, and
Right.
and if you're not out there shilling and talking yourself up and interacting,
Mhm.
it is harder. It is harder. So I think, yeah, some artists, um, yeah, when that's their focus is that they do well, and they probably can ask for any price.
Right. Right.
So I think that's where my struggle is that I you can have the best art and the most beautifulest art, but
Right.
if you're not marketing yourself properly or you're not out there, it doesn't matter, So it's not
Right.
about just how good you are, how good your art
Right.
is, it's how much exposure and how you present yourself and getting, people drawn to your art. And that's difficult. When you
Mhm.
are a little bit of an introvert or anything like that, it's hard.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's very, very difficult. But I definitely want to go ahead and shift gears and talk about Twitter Space because I know me, you, and Coco, as well as when Curves was doing a panel discussion. I
Yeah.
jumped in to speak a little later, but it was mainly you, when with Curves, Coco, and someone else, I
Yeah.
think. You guys did a whole space talking about women in the NFT space. So I definitely want to really ask and talk about how crucial is it to have women be included and represented in the NFT Web3 space.
Very important. Women have so much to offer. We've got so much talent and gifting, and we see things differently to men as well. And I've noticed that the male run projects, they do things differently. And when you go to a women-led Discord, it's all sweet, happy, friendly, lovey-dovey, and the men are a bit more aggressive and,
Right.
so I think it's very important for women to have a voice in Web3. There's so
Mhm.
much talent, and I think it's great for women to have something that they can contribute, like they can do this from home. So if they've got kids, you just hop on the computer or on your phone, and it's something that you can do, and I think it's very important, and it's confidence building, and it's great because you connect with other women around the world, and that's pretty
Right.
awesome. And you're connecting with people that you have the same interest and passion for.
Right.
So it's really nice. You don't feel alone, You've
Right.
got it's like a big family. And there's so many lovely communities, and it's a lovely way to meet people. So I'm
Mhm.
definitely very passionate about it because it's helped me a lot, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. So yeah, yeah, most definitely. Because I like how, like how I said before, the community is, growing, especially having that
mhm.
women representation. You have like, Power of Women, then you got World of Women, you have Women with Curves, so there's all types of
Yeah,
NFT artists. Boss Beauties, another one that really gives women representation. So it's really cool to see.
yeah. It covers every aspect of womanhood and everything that, and I think it's awesome to see,
Right.
um, just the creativity and the ideas, and really it gives women a space to really express themselves in a
Mhm.
beautiful, way.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, what are some things do you think, are missing within Web3? Like, what are some things that, you think that could be better in regards to the Web3 space?
It's hard to say because it keeps changing and the gaps fill. Like they keep upgrading and they think of this and then they do this and so I feel like it will happen and
Mhm.
that as you go along things will improve.
Right.
Um, Personally, what I'd like is like some big recycling station where you can dump all your junk from your hidden folder and all the crap that you get sent and the rug projects NFTs that clutter up your, and you can get rid of it and get maybe a little bit of ETH back. Like they have that in Solana, the NFTs now you can burn your tokens and get a little tiny bit of soul back. And I think that'll be a great idea to do, because you get sent all this stuff and
Right.
just hate the clutter. I hate going through my folders and going, where's the good art that I've been hiding in here? Or, I don't know.
Mhm.
Things have changed so much, so I can't really,
Right.
I can't figure. I mean, there's room for improvement, put it that way. There is. So, but
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on
Right. On a
anything in
specific
particular
thing.
at the moment. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's still
Because
understandable.
I see that the women are getting out there, and that's the more important thing to me. So,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
mental health is the other issue for me, and just that in servers and discords for there to be that safe space and
Mhm.
that respect that, to cater for people that do have, because a lot of artists are
Mhm.
sensitive. They do suffer from bipolar and all these other things. The most creative people, are more sensitive. So, I just think that there should be that help to say, watch out for your mental health and take breaks and that I'm seeing that more encouraged now than when I first came in.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Now, what's next for you?
What's next? Well, I think I've explored a lot in this space, and I'm coming to a point where I'm discovering more of what I wanted to do and who I am in this space. And I don't think I can limit myself to being just an 111 artist. So recently I formed another account and a Discord and a little club called Flower Power NFT Club,
Mhm.
which, and this is the first time I've been able to focus a little bit in the fact that I'm choosing flowers as a theme, like a flower appreciation, because I noticed that I tend to use flowers in some of my work, and I'm drawn to NFTs that have flowers as traits, little flower crowns or flowers. So I thought I wanted to do something community based.
Right.
So I wanted to connect artists and women-led projects that use flowers as traits or flowers in their work and sort of bring more people together in that theme, hold contests, I
Mhm.
art contests. I've done quite a few giveaways, and I'll do little mini collections just to for membership, um, like a membership pass, and so that will give members some benefits, and I'll hold special raffles for them. And I just
Mhm.
want to do something more community based, and I think I will probably want. I think I see myself being more of a voice and a support than just me doing my own art and things. So
Mhm.
uh, I do have in the background, and this is something that is long term, I do have a collection that I'm doing, but that's completely freehand drawn. Like I'm drawing all the traits, the mouth and nose, or and that will be a mental health based collection down the track. And it'll have a different angle than what's out there at the moment. It'll be so mental health is important to me, and I just want to keep growing, doing Twitter Spaces, just getting more and more out of my shell, and so I can be there for other women. And my focus is really on women in this space. I think that's becoming more of my passion and just support person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how there's more spaces talking about the importance of mental health because, I'm a big advocate for that myself.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
definitely like mental health is very important. I like with now it's more talked about than it was like, 5, 10 or so years ago, and especially in my generation, so that's really cool to really see.
Yep. To be aware and sensitive, and don't, people not to feel pressured and feel that they can't keep up, and just, be more understanding, because sometimes I used to hold back because I felt like I had to appear more with it and stronger and not show my, emotions or the downsides, and just felt like I had to put on a happy face, but I just want to be able to feel more free and whoever they are, and go at their own pace, and creativity should be about self-expression and not trying to keep up with someone else or be, do things a certain way. I don't like following formulas. I know they have things that they do in Discords, and you've got to mint this way and you've got to have whitelists, but I'm like, no, I'm going to do things my way. You know what I mean? I'm going to think outside the box too, why do I have to follow everyone? And I don't want people to be little sheep. Just be yourself. Do your own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Most definitely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people support your work?
Thank you. I have, Twitter, 2 accounts, main ones, my personal one and the Flower and Power NFT Club. And I do have Insta, and that is R.I.L. art, I think. I don't use it a lot. Like I said, I'm not really big on social media. I think Twitter is probably the best place to find me, and then I'll have Linktree in that. So I'll have, my Opensea, and I am a Tez artist as well. So I do have stuff on Object, and and I have, and you'll find me in servers because I'm in Global Kind. I love Global Kind, and you'll find me in women-led servers if you want to.
Well, thank you so much for jumping onto the show. Your work is absolutely incredible. Like I said, we first met at Twitter Space, talking about women in the space. So it's really cool to hear your perspective, and I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me and helping me too to get more out of my comfort zone and, do more talks and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews involving Web3, NFTs, crypto, and the metaverse.